What is up, YouTube? ODST General back again with another Operation Trebuchet tutorial. Today, guys, we will be taking a look at the OPTRE Power Mjolnir module within the mod. This was just recently added to the mod officially. It was initially released as a side mod, so some of you guys may already have experience with this, but for those of you who haven't discovered this yet, this is a really neat module that basically gives shielding, faster sprinting, preventing fall damage, and a number of other abilities to Spartan, Elite Armor, and really anything else you want to add it to. So today, to help me out, I've got Pat, the Elite, and Pat's going to let me shoot him some to show off these shields on the AI. So these AI that are equipped with these shields, and you can dictate what AI are, get the shields activated automatically through the script. So we're going to bring out our MA5C here. I meant to switch to a B, but that's fine. And we're going to shoot him some, and he's just kind of over there doing the dance because he really doesn't want to be shot too much. So you can see firing a couple rounds into him doesn't really seem to affect him too much. I mean, there's no blood or anything. He did spark a little bit, so if you guys caught that, there was a quick moment where it sparked as I was shooting him, where his shields were flaring up, and you can see now the shields have dropped. The shields dropping sends up the same electrical sparks, but they're consistent and over the entire body. Now that can be kind of difficult to see at range. As the shields are dropped, some shots do go through. You can see Pat is now injured. I can heal him. There's some blood. It's not too terribly bad though. Certainly a lot better than if he had no shields. Now let's go ahead and activate our own shields. By hitting the scroll wheel in the upper left-hand corner, you'll get the activate suit option. It'll pop up the screen, and then we've got a new HUD, we've got shields, and we've got some other abilities. We can now, for instance, jump. We can run slightly faster. Now, the running faster is kind of hard to tell or appreciate with this, but we're going to show off something and you guys will just see how crazy or extreme this can get. So, by going into Options, Add-on Options, going to Add-on up here, and then selecting OPTRE Power Mjolnir, you get access to all the different options. So, you can turn off the ability to jump, or you can change how high they can jump. In this case, we're going to max this out just to show how far this goes. We're going to keep prevent fall damage on because we're going to be jumping pretty high. Show activate suit option. So if you want, you can actually turn this off in your mission setup for this, and so you can actually set it off so that people cannot activate the Spartan armor abilities on their suits. You can change shield values quite significantly. We're going to go up to, let's say 400. 400 is still quite a bit. And we're going to increase our regeneration factor to 2. So we're going to increase that a fair amount too. Now 2 doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it goes up to 10 at max. So 2 is actually a pretty good amount of regeneration. We're also going to keep shields on AI just to continue to show that off, but we'll keep it at the default values. We're also going to keep increased speed on, but we're going to also, just like jumping, max that up. That goes to a max of 5. And then there's a number of other options. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go over them anyways for the purpose of this tutorial. Sparks on hit. When you shoot the Elite, as you saw, he sparked a couple of times before his shields dropped. That's what this is basically you'll occasionally get sparks as you shoot the Elite, just to basically let you know that they have shielding. Sparks when depleted. So basically when the shields drop, they get sparks all over him. You guys saw that. We're of course going to keep that on because we want to know when his shields are gone. Enable cam shake. It sounds just like what it is. Pretty basic. This one's one of those things I could do with or without it. HUD activation intro. Also another thing, you know, it's pretty neat looking the first time, but after you see this, you know, half a dozen times, a dozen times, 2 dozen times, you might want to turn this off. So you can tick that off, and if you don't want it anymore, you can. We've ticked it off, but let's turn it back on. So if you go over here to these arrows too, click it and it just resets it to default value. Show HUD overlay. So when in first person, you guys saw I created a unique HUD. You can actually turn that off. Alternatively, you could just take the class name off of the HUD, but this is a much easier option if for whatever reason you just don't want it for a single mission or something like that. Show crosshair. You can turn off the crosshair on there, so that might be something a lot of people are inclined to do. Show energy shield bar up at the top. As you can see, we've got that, and then we can actually change the color of it. So we can change it to purple. So if you're playing as an Elite or something, you want a purple UI for the Covenant, you can do that. You can also change the size of it so it takes up less room or is bigger. Now we're going to keep it at size 2 because to be honest, any other sizing just doesn't really look as good, and yeah, it's like offset and there's all sorts of other issues. And then as we go down here, there is even more options. Now, this is probably going to be the most intimidating part for most people, but this is really easy and straightforward. I'll get a little bit more into this in just a little bit though, but basically you just take class names and you paste them in here to activate these different options, and they're all pretty self-explanatory too. But for right now, let's hit OK and let's show off some of these abilities. So let's show off our new jump. But before that, if you guys look up at the top of the screen, you can see my shields are increasing because I increased the amount of shields I have, so it's charging up. It's a pretty slow charge up even at twice the speed because of how much shields I have. And as you guys can see, my standard run, this isn't even sprinting yet, this is just my standard run, is much faster. So much so that I'm actually sliding when I stop. And this is my sprint. So that's max speed for sprinting. Now let's go ahead and let's jump. So there's a couple different ways you can jump. So if you look down at the ground, you jump a little bit lower, like a little low jump. And if you look up at the sky, you go much higher. So that is pretty ridiculous. Now let's go ahead and test out our shields here in combat. So we're going to go behind the barrier and we're going to call out Pat's friend. And he's going to shoot us some. And we're just going to step behind the barrier. He was getting some pretty good shots in there, surprisingly. And you can see our shields charging up. Let's go into first person so you guys get a better idea of how fast these shields are recharging. Now, bear in mind, once again, I've got 400 shields instead of the standard 100 by default. So do keep that in mind as you watch these things charge back up and see how slow they are. Shields do recharge typically pretty quickly for the default speeds and the amount of shields that you have. So here I've got a number of different stuff that I exported out off of basically a uniform. So this is an arsenal loadout that I've exported out, and I've got a couple of things in here that are of interest. So I've got the Mark V Armor Knight and the Mark V Helmet Knight. So these are for a specific set of armor and specific helmet that by default don't have this HUD enabled, they don't have shields enabled. So if I go in here and if I copy this, and you just want the class name, you don't want the quotations or this or anything else, you just want the class name. I'm going to hit Control C and go back into our add-ons and options. And I forgot which one I just copied of these, but I've got these both in here anyways, as you can see. So basically, if I wanted to activate this so I could actually activate shields and the jumping and everything else on here, I would just copy this FC Mjolnir Mark V Armor Knight is now in here. You basically just add a comma after, you know, whatever the previous one was. So let's hope this is actually the correct one here. So I've got the last one here. Hit a comma, Control V, and just hit OK. Now, of course, we're not wearing that armor, so you guys won't see it, but just trust me, it will work. Now, I do recommend avoiding messing with the shields and stuff too much in the middle of a mission because it does seem to bug them out potentially, or they'll get stuck on higher settings. So if you're going to mess with the shields and settings, what I would suggest doing is figuring out all the settings you want and then restarting the mission, or if you know, saving your file or whatever. Now, it does save the changes between missions or whatever, so you don't have to worry too much. Once you get your settings that you want figured out and everything, it should be all good to go. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the controls. By going to Controls, Configure Add-ons, OPTRE Power Mjolnir, of course. And this basically just dictates the jump control. At any rate, guys, that is the OPTRE Power Mjolnir. You guys can see one of the HUDs here. There's a bunch of other HUDs to look at for the different Spartan helmets, so I do recommend taking a look at this module in depth if you guys haven't already done so for your Spartans. A number of armors do have this stuff by default. Like I said, some of the elites do. Not all the elites have it by default. Elites have their own unique HUD. A number of different Spartan armors have unique HUDs and stuff. And yeah, if you guys see it says Spartan armor that doesn't have it and you want to have, you know, shields, you want to have the ability to jump, it's really easy to add, as you guys saw here. Now, if this tutorial helped you guys out, hit that like button. That helps me out. And if you guys want to see any other tutorials, let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.